My girlfriend said, "Does it matter?" I replied, "Probability of paternity, 0.0%. Then I sent her lawyer my truth file with the parking garage bills and the call logs to her married coworker, and I just smiled because her mother's outburst had just saved me from raising another man's child. Original post, I'm 31. My girlfriend, Rebecca, is 29. We've been together for 4 years, living together for 3. We were that couple. The one our friends called solid. We were planning the future, marriage, a house with a yard, the whole thing. Don't miss the twist. Subscribe and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. 6 months ago, she told me she was pregnant. I was over the moon. I'm not a woodworker, not even close. But I felt this primal need to build something for my kid. I've been in the garage every weekend since. I'm building a crib by hand, sanding the wood, measuring the cuts. It felt right. The fight that blew everything up. It wasn't even between us. It was between Rebecca and her mom, Deborah. They have what you'd call a volatile relationship. It's all screaming and crying. Then, a week later, they pretend nothing ever happened. We were at their place for Sunday dinner. Her dad, Jim, was there, just trying to be invisible, which is his usual move. The argument started over something stupid. The color of the nursery. Deborah wanted beige. Rebecca wanted sage green. From there, it escalated. Fast, we're in the middle of their living room. Her dad is just staring at his shoes. And Deborah goes nuclear. It's what she does. She aims for maximum humiliation. This time, she aimed at Rebecca, but the shrapnel hit me. She screamed, right at her daughter. "Why are you even letting him do this? You should be groveling for his forgiveness. Tell him. Go on. Tell him the baby might not be his." The world just stopped. It was one of those movie moments. The sound drops out. All you can hear is this high-pitched ringing in your ears. I looked at Rebecca. Her face was chalk white. All the color just drained right out of it. She didn't deny it. She didn't scream, "How dare you?" She didn't defend me. She just stood there, mouth slightly open, tears starting to well up. Her dad finally looked up from the floor. He just mumbled, "Deborah, for God's sake." But the grenade had already gone off. Rebecca turned and ran upstairs sobbing. Deborah, after a split second of looking smug, immediately flipped the switch to victim mode. "Oh, look what you all made me do. I'm just so stressed." I didn't say a word. I just picked up my jacket. I walked out their front door, got in my car, and drove home. To our home. The drive was a total blur. I got inside and just stood in the hallway. The silence was screaming at me. I could see the half-finished crib through the door to the garage. The rage came first, this hot, dizzying anger. I wanted to put my fist through a wall. I wanted to call her and scream until my throat was raw. I actually picked up my phone. My thumb was hovering right over her name. But then, this strange cold calm just washed over me, like a circuit breaker flipped in my brain. The anger was still there, but it was frozen now. A block of dry ice in my gut. Solid. Manageable. I didn't drink. I didn't break a thing. I just sat on the couch and processed the data. The accusation was made. Rebecca did not deny it. Her reaction was pure guilt, not outrage. Therefore, there is a non-zero probability that her mother's statement is true. My entire future, my money, my life for the next 18+ years was based on an assumption, an unverified assumption. That is an unacceptable liability. The next morning, I called my business lawyer, Tom. He's a sharp guy, but he cut me off about 30 seconds in. "Stop," he said. "This is not my field. You don't want me. You want a shark. I know a family law attorney. He's expensive, he's aggressive, and he doesn't waste time. Let me make a call." An hour later, I was on a video call with the new lawyer, a guy named Edward. He had these tired eyes but spoke with a kind of surgical precision. I laid out the situation. Clinically, he didn't offer any condolences. Clinically, he didn't offer any condolences. He just offered a strategy. Update 1. It's been 2 long weeks. Thanks for all the comments. It's strange, but hearing from strangers that you're not the crazy one, it helps. Edward's first step was to establish a formal request. He said it shows we are serious, not just emotional. It took a couple of days to get the legal wording perfect. A courier delivered a package to Rebecca at her parents' house. She had to sign for it. Inside was a legally admissible DNA test kit and a letter. The letter was from Edward. It stated that any and all future financial support, including spousal, prenatal, or child support, was entirely contingent on a verified paternity test. It gave her 1 week to go to a designated, neutral lab and get the blood draw done. It was a formal, legal torpedo, and it was heading right for the heart of their family drama. The email confirmation that she'd signed for it hit my inbox at 11:42 a.m. on a Wednesday. By 11:45 a.m., my phone was ringing. Rebecca. I let it go to voicemail. A text message came right after. "What the hell is this? A DNA test? Are you insane? Call me?" Then her mother, Deborah, started her barrage. Texts, calls, screeching voicemails about how I was abusing her pregnant, vulnerable daughter, how I was a monster. I listened to one, documented it, and blocked her number. Rebecca is now calling me from blocked number. Rebecca is now calling me from blocked numbers. She's leaving these hysterical, sobbing voicemails. She refuses to take the test. She's saying it's an insult to our love. A disgusting betrayal of trust. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. She's actually trying to say that I'm the one who destroyed everything. Me. All for quietly asking for a simple binary truth. The angrier she gets about the test, the more certain I am that I need it. The 1-week deadline is ticking. Update 2. The 1-week deadline came and went. Rebecca did not take the test. Instead, I got a long, rambling email. It was a masterclass in gaslighting. It accused me of being paranoid, cruel, and cold-hearted. She said she was mourning the man she thought I was. Then she announced she was moving her things out of our home because she and the baby weren't welcome anymore. She was building her narrative. The righteous, wounded mother cast out by her monstrous partner, and it almost worked. Her friends started posting that vague, passive-aggressive garbage on social media. So sad when men can't handle a strong, pregnant woman. A couple of our mutual friends reached out. "Hey man, heard you two are having a rough time. She seems really upset." You could tell they'd only heard her side. The silence in this house is deafening. I'd walk past the nursery. The room we painted sage green. I'd see the half-built crib. I'd just feel this hollow ache. For a day, maybe 2, the gaslighting started to seep in. I actually started to question myself. Am I the asshole here? Am I blowing this up over a stupid family fight? But then I'd close my eyes. I'd see her face in her parents' living room. That chalk-white, guilty face. It wasn't outrage, it was terror, and just like that, the logic would settle back in. This isn't about feelings anymore. This is about facts. My lawyer, Edward, was completely unfazed. "She won't take the test because she knows the result," he said, plain and simple. "They can't force a prenatal test in this state, so they think they have you. Their plan is to stall. They'll wait until the baby is born, get your name on the birth certificate in the hospital, and then you're on the hook, fighting an uphill battle for months or years. We can't let that happen." He was right. About a week later, a letter from her new lawyer showed up. They were refusing my offer to buy her out of her share of the house equity. Their counteroffer, I should move out and keep paying the mortgage, so the pregnant, vulnerable mother of your child could live there. Edward and I had a good laugh over that one. We sent back a polite no, citing our cohabitation agreement. We were in a stalemate. They were just waiting for me to break. And I knew I couldn't just sit here and do nothing. The not knowing, it was corrosive. It was eating me alive. I needed more than a hunch. I needed leverage. I needed data. So I asked myself a simple question. Where do people leave digital footprints? I started digging. Quietly. I went through our shared credit card statements, going back a year. It was just months of groceries, dinners, bills. And then I saw it. A small, recurring charge. $12.99 a month for a parking garage downtown, right near her old office. The weird part, the charge stopped about 6 months ago, right when she got pregnant. She always took the train to work. There was no reason for her to have a monthly parking spot. Next, our phone records. We're still on a family plan. I wasn't looking at the content, just the logs. And there it was. Around that same time, 10 to 11 months ago, a huge spike in calls and texts to one number, a number I didn't recognize. The calls were often late at night, sometimes when I was asleep, sometimes when I was out of town on business. My heart was pounding in my chest. This was it, the ghost in the machine. A quick search of that number on social media, the lazy man's PI work, it brought up a profile, a guy named Timothy, smiling, handsome, in his late 30s. His profile picture was of him, his wife, and their 2 kids, and his employer was listed right there. The same marketing firm Rebecca used to work at. The same guy she used to complain about, calling him a harmless work rival. Everything just clicked into place. The affair. The timeline, 10-11 months ago, lining up perfectly with conception, the parking garage for their meetings. The reason she quit that job so suddenly 5 months ago, claiming too much stress. It was all a calculated deception. The plan to pass his child off as my own, that crib in the garage, it suddenly felt like a monument to my own stupidity. The rage was gone. Now, it was just disgust. I spent the next few days gathering everything, screenshots of the call logs, PDFs of the credit card statements with the parking garage charges highlighted, a screenshot of Timothy's happy family profile. I compiled it all into one neat little file, my truth file. I didn't do anything with it. Not yet. I just held on to it. It was my insurance. It was my leverage. They thought I was stuck. They had no idea I had just found the key to the entire game. Update 3. I sat on my truth file for about a week. I just let them stew. Then her lawyer sent another letter. This one was more aggressive. They were demanding pre-birth spousal and child support. They were trying to force my hand, thinking my silence was weakness. I forwarded it to Edward. His response was simple. It's time. His reply was a work of art. It was calm, professional, and absolutely devastating. It stated that their demand for support was rejected. It went on to say that we had uncovered significant evidence of infidelity during the likely period of conception. It didn't threaten. It didn't yell. It just listed cold, hard facts. It mentioned a pattern of communications with a Mr. Timothy last name. It mentioned unexplained financial transactions, including regular payments to a parking facility near his place of work. The letter concluded by making our position perfectly clear. Not one single dollar would even be considered until paternity was established. It reiterated our offer to pay for the test, and, very gently, it included a sentence reminding them that paternity fraud can have severe legal consequences for all parties involved. We sent a copy of the letter to Timothy's work address for his records. The effect was immediate. For 3 full days, nothing. Utter radio silence. Then the calls started again. But the tone was completely different. The outrage was gone. It was just panic, pure, unadulterated panic. Rebecca left a voicemail that was just her, weeping. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "Please, can we just talk? You don't understand everything." I was going to tell you. I was. Please, don't do this. She knew she was trapped. Her whole narrative had crumbled. Her bluff had been called, and she had no cards left to play. A week later, her lawyer sent a one-line email. Ms. Last name will comply with a paternity test. We arranged it. A non-invasive prenatal NIP test. A simple blood draw from her. A cheek swab from me. I paid for it all. It felt like the last check I'd ever write for her. Final update. It's been another month. The game is over. Those 10 days of waiting for the results were strange. I wasn't anxious anymore. I just felt resolved. I spent that time in the garage. I took the crib apart, piece by piece. I carefully wrapped each piece of sanded wood in cloth and put it all in the attic. Maybe I'll use it one day. Maybe I'll burn it. The email with the results came to Edward. He forwarded it to me without comment. A secure PDF. I opened it. Probability of paternity, 0.0%, 0. A perfect score. I thought I'd feel this surge of victory, this rush of, I told you so. But I didn't. I just felt this profound, heavy sadness. The woman I thought I loved had been a stranger. The future I was building was a complete fantasy. It wasn't a triumph. It was just the final page of a very sad book. I took a screenshot of the results page. I sent it to Rebecca. No text, No words, just the image. Her reply was a flood. Rambling, incoherent texts. A mess of apologies mixed with excuses. She blamed Deborah for the stress. She blamed Timothy for seducing her. She blamed her own fear. Then came the line that proved to me she would never, ever get it. I know it's not yours, but does it have to matter? I love you. We can still raise it together, please. I don't want to do this alone. The sheer stunning audacity. To ask me, to beg me, to knowingly raise her married lover's child. I didn't reply. I just blocked her number for the last and final time. The fallout has been messy. Her lawyer immediately accepted my original offer to buy her out of her share of the house equity. From what I've pieced together, Timothy wants nothing to do with her or the baby. He is desperately trying to save his own marriage. So Rebecca is pregnant, alone, with no claim on me or my assets. She's about to get a check for her small share of a house she thought she'd be living in forever. Her family, I hear, is a complete war zone. Deborah and her dad are barely speaking. There was no big screaming confession. No satisfying courtroom scene. My revenge wasn't about destroying her. It was about protecting myself. It was a quiet, methodical amputation. You don't win in this kind of thing. You just lose less. Last night, I was cleaning out a closet. I found a photo of us from a vacation a few years ago. We both look so happy. It feels like looking at two other people. For a second, I felt that pang of old warmth. And then I remembered the lies hidden behind that smile. And it just turned to ash. The house is quiet now. But for the first time in months, it doesn't feel empty. It feels like peace.